Very nice 90s MTG official jumper slash sweater slash sweatshirt on the left. Sure. Pluto Delta Pass. Audrey, thank you for the resub, 22 months. Audrey with announcement, still here.
Sure. I don't know what to expect, but whatever. You grew up in the city?
All right, Miracle's getting cracked. Miracle's starting off with a cracked fetch. Pierre, thank you for the resub with Prime, 21 months.
You should get chastised for that.
That is Tamio. Jeff gets it, everybody. None of that taking it all the way out of the sleeve, putting it back in the sleeve crap.
I always felt like I was naked when I was wearing it.
All right, Tamio's hit with the swords. Goodbye, Tamio. Yeah, is control viable, chat? Is control viable, YouTube comments? Does anybody know? What about the frog and the Mika spawn?
Trigger?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here's a brainstorm for David. David in the chat says, last night confirmed that we need to ban the beans. Yeah, one event data is enough for me.
Draw card. Land for turn, Shatter Skull tap. I'll pass.
I'll post like some top 8 lists from some like paper event in Belgium or whatever with 200 players, and somebody will be like, yeah, but we had 6 challenges and it was all Reanimator, and it's like 40 players.
And I'll pass it. Draw.
Transforms.
Everybody's always talking over me in this Magic community. Chili has arrived, waiting for one event instead of banning based on vibes. Yeah, exactly.
What new ones are there? Duskmorn Commander.
I'll take 17.
That's a ponder for Jeff, by the way, in case anybody doesn't have all the versions memorized like David. Monka arrived in the chat. Say hello to Monka, everybody.
I'll just pass. Oh, we're doing the initiative.
So now, now there's a Tamio on David's side. Tamio's still a big part of Legacy. This card is on Legacy tables, flipping up and down, drawing lots of cards. There's another Tamio for Jeff, it looks like.
Yeah, if you want which color you want. For the whole match, yeah. Alright, cool. I'll go.
We'll have to pick mana cost this time.
What did Harry say about the Mika spawn ban? Yeah, where's Harry Houdini? We need some an update.
I'll put mine on the side for a minute, and then I'll do...
All right, Thoughtseize resolving here for David. Let's take a look. Terminus, Counterspell, ×2, Counterbalance, and another Brainstorm, I believe? The card on top is a little hard for me to see. I think it's Brainstorm, Counterbalance, Double Counterspell, and Terminus.
I'll go 13.
We just reached our sub goal. Thank you, everyone. All right, Counterbalance gets hit by the Thoughtseize. Don't tell Force of Fill that happened. And another Swords takes out Tamio. Tamio attacks. David will make a clue. Very nice clue token. Savior, thank you for the resale with Prime, 33 months. What's up, Savior? Savior had been with us for a while. Coming up on that 3-year badge, will Savior stay with us? I don't know. People come and go, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Forgot about that part. I was like, yeah.
Proceed to combat. Proceed to combat. 4 damage.
Okay, Tamio does his thing, makes another clue. Ninjutsu. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares. This card's still hot.
Second main, use Kaito 0.
Kaito's 0 ability is used. A Daze was dumped into the graveyard. Jeff's going to fetch here, perhaps looking for Meticulous Archive to surveil. We'll see. The dog says Kaito is a great addition to Legacy. I agree. I think Duskmourn was... I don't really know what it did to other formats, to be completely honest with you. I've been so out of the loop. But for Legacy, Duskmourn was great. Ghost Vacuum, Kaito, Overlord of the Belmark. Oh, wait. There's another card. I forgot. Yeah, it does look like Bloomburrow and Duskmourn are the strongest sets in Standard. I did see some Standard at some event that was streamed recently. And or was that Explorer? I don't know. But Bloomburrow cards everywhere. What's the other Duskmourn card I'm forgetting? Someone help me out.
Have fun.
Or is there not another one? Oh, well okay, from the Metamorphosis Fanatic was one. That was from the Commander set. I was like, I knew there was more than 3. Teferi the Time Raveler. It's getting dazed. Goes into the trash. Oculus saw some play, yeah.
Proceed to combat. Attack. Sorry.
I mean, for a standard set these days to have like more than 2 cards affect Legacy is a pretty big impact.
Kaito 0.
Prismatic Ending was dumped into the graveyard. Kaito's surveilling. Tamio, gonna try that again. It was returned to hand by Ninjutsu earlier. All right, after the card drawn with the clue, Tamio will flip. That was the 3rd card drawn. Tamio will plus to 4 loyalty. Valgavoth is another one. That's true. Yeah, Duskmourn for Legacy specifically. Great.
I'm going to decline.
I'm going to attack.
Okay, looks like we're going to get a ninja emblem here. Ninjas get +1/+1. And then Kaito's going to swing with a pump. 4 damage gets through. Jeff drops to 7.
That's all.
Human here.
Yeah.
Another Thoughtseize. Counterspell on that. It's countered. Okay, there's a ponder. Hype train complete. Thank you, everybody.
Beast. One on beast, one on green.
Yeah, scar. I got it right here.
Okay. Can do it this time.
I got you.
Jeff likes to get funky with his decks. I like Jeff's style a lot.
I'll buy back Thoughtseize.
Tears so much. I actually have the bigger board, but I left it in my apartment.
Good.
Yep. Untap draw.
Thought seizing again. Bought it back with Tamio.
I'm gonna
All right, there's the other counterspell we knew about. Thought Seize has been countered twice by counterspells. Wasteland, go after the archive, okay.
and I'll get the initiative. True for the initiative, I'll search for the I'll just pass. True. That's all right.
Kaido at 5 loyalty, 1 clue. Tamio at 1 loyalty, 1 ninja emblem. Kaido emblem for David. Tamio ticks up to 3. No real plays from Jeff. Besides countering a few things for the past 2 turns. I guess there was an attempt at a Teferi 2 turns ago. Kaido got through. Jeff drops to 3.
Pay for the ward. I'm gonna dead the efforts to do it.
Okay. Kaido, 0 ability being used now. Jeff thought about responding to that. Dumps a swords and an island. I saw dazes. I felt tempo. This feels like Esper tempo to me.
Oh yeah, I can't psycho killer. Okay. Yeah.
Oh crap! New card alert. I don't know this one.
It's combat.
Well, it got dazed. But what card was that?
I'll just pass.
That's really kind of you.
20. Get the initiative. Yep.
Yeah, that was a Tarkir card. Marang River Regent? Was that the one? Wait. Is that text wrong? Oh, the bots are not working for almonds? Okay. So the card we saw just moments ago was Marang River Regent. It's a 6-mana, 6/7 flyer dragon. When this creature enters, bounce 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hands. And then the Omen spell is a 4-mana instant, draw 3, discard 1. Very interesting.
Yeah. Most of my time. I haven't really left.
Gotcha.
New card got me. I didn't know that one. Counterspell, Entreat the Angels, double Teferi, Island, and Swords to Plowshares.
It takes a fucking hour and 10 minutes to
55
get
minute
here.
traffic today.
After a Thoughtseize from David, Entreat the Angels. Somebody call Force of Fill. All right, Teferi is taken.
Yeah, it comes when I draft. When I'm free. It's easy.
Yeah, they didn't test the Omens for 1v1.
Wow.
We're playing GGD Agostino right now? Jesus Christ.
All right, Basic Island, pass the turn. Land drop pass. That's what the Miracles players be doing. Mystic Sanctuary pass. Tapped and pass. Yeah, sometimes the playlist at the game shop is crazy.
Never lie.
We actually have like some hipster off to the side with like a set of CDJs and a bunch of we have like a proper TJ at Monday Night Legacy. I don't know. I make myself laugh sometimes. The mental picture was too funny. Just some guy off to the side, completely ignored. Man bun and CDJs. Exactly. Just like trying way too hard. Sometimes I make myself laugh. It's kind of sad. So just land drops happening. Jeff's going to pass here, it looks like. Orcish Bowmaster, everybody. Have you seen this card yet? This card is crazy. Wow, that's a blinged out Orc army right there. Look at that token, everybody. Do you have that? Okay, the Swords to Plowshares we knew about is getting fired off on the Bowmaster. Thank you for that, Chad. I forgot to update the score. This is game 2. Counterspell again. Trying to protect this Bowmaster. David fired off a force-pitching Brainstorm. It's being targeted by a Swords to Plowshares. Daze? Oh, man.
Go ahead.
This is the problem with Counterspell. Like, I don't know what the modern gameplay looks like in detail these days, but Counterspell and Legacy, look at this stack right now. Jeff would probably rather have, like, something else. All right. Counterspell is countered. Bowmaster stands. All right, another ponder for David. Passing it back to Jeff. Miracle? Nope. I wonder if Triumph of St. Catherine is in this list. It's a card from recent years that I really like in Legacy, kind of exclusive to Legacy. Yeah, Audrey pointing it out. Control is everywhere now. We need something to call them. Yeah, we need some way to stop control. It's just out of control now in Legacy. Some people are saying control has a 53% win rate. Bring back the Mika Spawn. I'm tired of this crap.
Combat. 22. 15.
Audrey's saying you can play 4 drops again. Wow. Audrey just gifted 10 subs. Thank you, Audrey. Really appreciate that. Where are we now? 271 on the channel for Audrey. Number 2 on our all-time gifter leaderboard. Audrey, of course, a pillar of our community. Thank you, Audrey. Thanks a lot. This Bowmaster's sticking around for a while. Jeff's not going to be firing off as many brainstorms with that thing on the board. Here's the Fairy Time Raveler again. Is this another Daze? Spell Pierce. Force pitching counterspell in response. Probably the best thing counterspell can do right now is be pitched to force, to be honest with you. Force of Will happening on a Spell Pierce. Trying to get this Teferi Time Raveler to resolve. Force back pitching Murktide. Teferi's gone. Bowmaster's still swinging away.
You can't play this.
Alright, we're winning.
All right. Can't even cast and treat the angels at the moment.
That's a sorcery, right?
Yes. Oh, you know that.
Yeah, I know it's
Do that.
Yeah, there's an Entreat the Angel stuck in Jeff's hand. The player is joking about it right now. Costs triple white to cast without a miracle. Card is a favorite of some long-time Legacy Control mages, but of questionable power level for the current metagame.
Okay.
Regular mana. Anyway,
Okay.
go.
Holy thing is the beater.
All right, another swords fired off on this Bowmaster, which is like this Bowmaster. Oh my goodness, swords pitching, force pitching days on the swords. This Bowmaster is sticking around for so much longer than anybody expected. That's another counterspell. This time the Bowmaster is gone. It finally got swords. Goodbye, Bowmaster. The Pilgrim says, finally get to see this stream live. I love this channel. Thank you, The Pilgrim. And then The Pilgrim sub with Prime. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, I can't all cast this before taking one.
All right. Kind of a sad Entreat the Angels here. Casting it X is 1. Going to make 1 4/4 Angel for 5 mana.
I think it has to be a white source, right?
Yeah, I gotta get fetch a white.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, Entreat does go to the graveyard. These Miracle decks then can use Mystic Sanctuary, put it back on top of the deck, and then Miracle it. Get more Angels. Nice Angel token, by the way.
Alright, ending.
Okay, Prismatic Ending immediately removes the Angel. Attack with the Orc Army, make another Tameo. Things going well for David, I would say. All right, found a Terminus. Both creatures will go to the bottom of the deck. Now it looks like both players are hellbent playing off the top of the deck. This should get interesting. Ooh, another Tameo. That's pretty good. All right, Polluted Delta could represent a Mystic Sanctuary. That could be problematic for David. That could be pretty huge. That land drop looked a lot worse than it is. Let's see if we're gonna fetch here. Just gonna fetch. Go to 6. What are we looking for? Mystic Sanctuary.
Bounce and I'll draw.
Entreat's gonna go to the top of the deck. We're doing it. It looks like. Drum says, greetings from Italy. First time that I see your live stream. Thank you for being here. Island Delvergo, thank you for the resub. 46 months. Wow.
So I don't get dazed, I guess.
So it's just
Okay, so Entreat the Angels is now miracled off the top, trying to make 4 4/4 flying white angels. What the hell was that?
First one.
Oh man. All right. Well, now there's 3 angels. One of them got swords. Double prismatic ending. Oh my goodness. Down to 1 angel.
You have no hands, right?
Ponder. Yeah. David is hellbent. Just a Tamio in play. Yeah. David's drawing pretty hot right now. To have 3 removal spells right away for the 3 of the 4 angels is kind of insane. All right. That's a counterbalance. Counterbalance was needed like 16 turns ago, but now it's on the board. Okay, now Jeff's playing a Tamio. Things not going too badly for Jeff at the moment.
20 minutes in a round. 20 minutes.
20 minutes in the round, just announced. I heard in the background.
Search for find a thing.
The clue was cracked. Brainstorm now, and we are going to game 3.
It won't be a game 3. I make you play that.
So now David will be on the play. Jeff managed to get one. Looks like control is viable, Chad. I don't know.
One cool thing having that match though was the misfire village or whatever shutting off the chalice. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, the rail. Yeah, I was talking to him earlier about it. I was like, you got misfires? He goes, oh, wait, you got misfails?
I didn't know it was legal.
Oh, it was
And he told me it was legal. I was like, yo, I need it. I was like, give it to me now.
Yeah, it's like there's no more like pre-release and release. It's
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, Pew Pew in the chat pointing out 1 entreat getting 3 removal is real bad for me. Need cards like Baragoi for Murktide if I had any chance. I guess. Pastina, thank you for the resub. 15 months. Appreciate it. Undercity Sewer dumped a Tundra into the trash. Jeff makes a land drop, passes the turn.
Fury twice.
Against your deck?
Yeah. We forgot about it.
All right, firing off a Thoughtseize is David. Jeff's hand has revealed Polluted Delta, Tundra, Terminus, Swords to Plowshares ×2, and a Force of Will.
Terminus.
So it's Force, Swords, Terminus, Tundra, Polluted Delta. That's the cards we see on the table right now. It's possible we might just see a Swords gets taken. Yeah, that's the choice. I think I like that choice.
I'll fetch.
Looks like End Step Meticulous Archive is going to get found, and now Jeff will surveil. Okay, so they made these lands. They come into play tapped. They're 2 basic land types. And then they have, when this enters, surveil in this particular case. What would be another cool ability for a land like this to have? When it enters, do what? Fetchable land. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? All right, another Thoughtseize. Might be able to take a look at Jeff's hand here. Thoughtseizes are pretty good in this kind of matchup. Terminus, Polluted Delta, Swords, Counterspell is a new card added to the hand. And the Force of Will we knew about. Jeff chose not to counterspell the Thoughtseize. Okay, Swords to Plowshares is taken. So two Thoughtseizes took 2 Swords to Plowshares.
Pass the turn, then on your upkeep.
Bowmaster on upkeep.
How many you got left? 3.
3 cards left. One of them might be Daze, Jeff is aware. We saw Jeff had a counterspell. All right, saw the exchange that we predicted. Daze on a counterspell. Bowmaster is in. Does its thing. And now it will be a Disruptor of Brainstorms. I want to see that Meringue River Regent again.
It's all good. You're at 18. or at 16, sorry. Isabel.
Players still getting used to these live counters. We're going to fix that momentarily. One of our staff members is going to come over and fix it at some point. 90s MTG employs like 60 people. All right, attacking again with the Bowmaster and Orc army. Yeah, it's all a big burden. Yeah. All right, basic island past the turn. You know, the players that play on this channel, they really are good sports about the whole thing. Like, none of them have to play on camera for all of us to watch, but they're all down for it, and they're having a good time with it. So, whenever you can, whether you're in the chat or in the comments, give it a round of applause for the players that play on camera for us every week. I mean, it's... For some of them, and people have expressed to me that at times it's a little hard. They feel self-conscious of their plays at times. I made this mistake, made that mistake. There's a lot of people watching. Round of applause for the players that we see regularly on 90s MTG. Sometimes Chris is in the background directing us to misplay. That never happened. Never happened.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, man. 16.
But by playing on camera, they're definitely opening themselves up for criticism of their plays, and even, you know, if you look at like the, you know, the like kind of the bottom of the standings when it comes to comments criticizing like which, you know, versions of basic lands they choose for their decks or whatever too. I'm just thankful we have a bunch of chill people willing to jam and have fun with it. There is a counter spell in Jeff's graveyard right now. That's the top card of the graveyard. Tameo was just put into play. Not sure what Twitch chat is confused about. Yeah, Tameo Inquisitive Student is the blue creature on David's side. Sorry I didn't announce that. Yeah, we are very particular about tokens, though, here on 90s MTG. Wasteland on the Tundra.
Blue. Good.
It's removal, like for example, it's removal for the reptile. I don't want to keep your pilots. I've missing moves running on.
Aviator says if you're going to have a construct, it has to be a windmill. Yeah, you know, people still keep using the wrong construct token for Urza's Saga. And, you know, eventually it's going to come back to bite them.
Force pitch.
Force pitch forced on Tameo. Tameo was on the stack sitting there for a while and ends up getting countered. Not sure why I got exiled, though.
How do we get it back down to single?
All right, I don't think Tameo was supposed to get exiled, but it got countered, though. And one of our staffers, one of our staff members, fixed the life counter, so everything's working now.
One card in hand currently? Yeah. It is 7.
Okay, so Swords to Plowshares returned to hand by Mystic Sanctuary here. A little bit of shortcutting happening. Swords to Plowshares retrieved, and we might see it hit Bowmaster. That's exactly what happens next. Force pitching days. Bowmaster's getting protected again.
2. And pass.
Jeff drops to 5. This match has been a battle. Bit of a grind. We've seen Bowmasters do a lot of work in this match. Dave has been protecting these Bowmasters at all costs. Back when I played tempo decks and like Delver a lot in Legacy, pushing, it's so long ago now. But I used to play a lot of Delver in Legacy, and your control opponent, generally speaking, uses a removal spell on your creature. Most of the time, you let that resolve. You counterbalance. You treat the angels, whatever. The metagame changes over time, but in the current Legacy, your threat being a Bowmaster, you're throwing everything to keep that thing on the table. Generally speaking, I'm speaking very generally. All right, here's that Meringue River Regent again. I'm going to share the link in the chat. The bot is not working for Tarkir Dragonstorm, unfortunately, yet, but we're trying to cast the Omen. Coil and Catch. Draw 3, discard 1. 4 mana instant.
I just need a land. I had Terminus in my hand.